This week in Teams, Kazeem Adegboyega of Africa Talks Tech kicks off our virtual African road trip with his 5 tips and tricks for end users in Microsoft Teams. Recording. So, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. Craig and I are very excited to have with us Kazeem Adegboyega from Africa, talking about the work that he's doing with Microsoft Teams. Kazeem, you're the managing director of Lasu Sebeti, which is well, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
So I run a very good and great team of people at the Lasu CBT 18 Limited. So the Lasu CBT is a joint venture, a joint partnership now between the school here in Lagos State University it's called, and a private firm. The private entity is known as Clear All Properties. So both of them have come together to put up this great place that we have here, known as the Lasu CBT. So the Lasu CBT is being managed privately, so not by the school, not by the private firm, but managed privately on its own. So the students of the school get to come to the CBT center anytime they have exams. So all of their exams now is being converted to computer-based exams, CBT exams now. So they get to come to the center for their exams. And we have other locations as well. So this is what we have inside the school campus, but we have other locations outside of the school campus as well. So that's what we do. Testing and training is the core of what we do at Lasu CBT.
Is that what we see in the background? Is that one of your testing centers?
Yes, exactly. So this is, although I'm not live inside the hall, so I'm using the background. I'm using the background image, but that's what it is. That's what you find inside the hall. Yes.
Very cool.
So it's way over 500 computers in there.
Wow, that is not a small testing center.
No, it's not.
So I'm gonna ask, because Jay said Africa, you mentioned the city, but I'm gonna play ignorant American here. What country is that?
Okay, very well then. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
Anyone would, and if you ask any African or any of the African in diaspora now, or even most people in the West as well, know Nigeria to be the most populous African nation.
Right.
So I'm from Nigeria, and at the moment I'm based now in Lagos State. So Lagos is one of the states in Nigeria. It's also the most popular state in Nigeria. The CBT project, the Lasu CBT project, brought me back to Lagos. Initially, I was here in Lagos, but I relocated my family to Abuja. So Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. So getting to learn a little bit about Nigeria.
Yeah.
So Abuja is the capital. Yeah. So I relocated to, sorry. Okay. So I relocated to Abuja with my family, and then I'm back in Lagos now. In the meantime, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Craig, did you want to? You were trying to say something there.
Oh no, I was just saying I hear Nigeria. It's on my bucket list of places to go. If Microsoft starts sending me places.
Yes, you should come. We've had the opportunity to do a few summits. That's the MCT. I'm an MCT, by the way, a Microsoft certified trainer. So we've run a couple of summits, 2 now, I believe, in Nigeria. The first one in Africa held in Cameroon, and after Cameroon, 2016 was in Ghana, and 2017 we had it here in Lagos, and we had a number of people showed up. Adnan Hendricks was around, and there were a couple of other guys, that supported the event. And also last 2 years ago now, 2019. So we brought it back again to Nigeria when I was based in Abuja. So I tried to talk to my colleagues for us to have it in Abuja. And it happened in Abuja. And Donna was around herself to, live in Abuja to support the event in Abuja. So
that's really cool.
Nigeria is really a place you should come to Nigeria when there's any of those events happening.
So that's a lot of doing things in addition to your own radio show that you do, and a lot of the community things that I think Jay's going to touch on. We'll get that. How did you get your start doing that kind of stuff? Because that always interests me. I mean, it's one thing to get a job and work in technology, but to be active in the community and giving back is not what everybody does. But I find the most important, enjoyable part of our job, right? So
yes, very much so. I've been doing technology for a while now. Maybe not as long as you have, but
he just called you old, Craig.
I think he did. That was the nice.
But I've been doing this for close to 20 years now. So in the process, we've had to learn a few things, and also knowing the fact that we also need to help the new generation coming up. There are a few of those things that we no longer, personally, I don't, my role has shifted somewhat now, where I believe most of the younger guys can just do it way better than I can. I mean, you just mentioned now that you were looking at some JSON codes, and how stressful that can be. So especially in this part of the world, we need to be sure that we're also helping the upcoming generation, showing them how to do things, supporting them in the best way possible. For example, when I came in here, so I've noticed that here at the university, Lagos State University, they really don't have much going on in terms of tech events, and the tech community here isn't the way it should be. So I thought I'm here now, so I can try to change that somewhat. And the radio station, where we have a community radio station on campus. So they came to visit, and so they approached and wanted me to do something around, maybe something for the community now, if I can come to the radio station and talk tech. So I said yes, I could give my time to talk about tech on radio for the students. So that was what led to, for instance, the tech show, the tech talk that I do. So I go into the radio station and talk about tech. They hear it live. So sometimes some of the students get to participate. Yeah. And from time to time too, yes, we also cook up events here at the center. We did one last week Friday, and a number of the guys participated.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be an edit.
Okay, yes.
All right, perfect. So you were in the middle of talking about, or you had just said that you did an event at the center last week, and that's when you cut out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So talking about the event we did last week, it was also for the students as well. So some of those activities is just to encourage the students, and a lot of it is beginning to happen already. So now we have a number of those communities that the students themselves have set up, here in LASU now. And what I also did was to have a little place in the center where some of the students can come work on projects. I mean, we have, if there's no electricity, we at the center have a backup. There's an inverter backup, there's a generating set. So there's always power here. So they token to come have access to the center to work on the project. And a few of them have done very fantastic things. Just last month, one of the students came up with an application that could detect currency, a currency detector, he called it, that he worked on using one of the power, I think it was Power Apps now, with Power Automate. So they are doing very fantastic things. There's a place for them that could walk around. I would have showed you some of the students here with us already.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. It's good to see work like that being done, trying to bring the students in, trying to give them opportunities to see and utilize technology they might not have access to. That's really cool work that you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
thank you very much. And even sometimes too, when we have tasks, we have work at hand, I try to give priority to the students first. We have some of them interning with us. And if there are some of the jobs that they can support, we can get some top level people, and then the students can support them. So that way, the student can as well learn. I mean, the whole essence should be when they are out of school, they should be job ready. They shouldn't be after school going for another 1 year learning computers. They should have all that they need, especially those into computers, computing. Yep. They should have all that they need, that when they are out of school, they are job ready.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Cool. I also, when I was in college, I worked the entire time. I had an internship my junior year. I had a job at the help desk my freshman year. I had a job at an external firm my senior year. So I got that opportunity so that when I graduated, like you said, I already had the work experience. I knew how to work in the workplace, and I was able to take the things I learned in college and immediately apply them to the workforce. So that's really exciting stuff that you're providing to your students.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So let's talk teams for a minute.
Yes.
The goal for this morning here is to talk about your 5 favorite tips and tricks for using Microsoft Teams. So why don't you walk us through what those are and allow us to interrupt and tell you how much we like them.
I'm going to say, Jay, you're the Teams guy, so I'm just going to mention a few of those tips now that I find to leverage on Teams the most. One of them I would say is I tagged it, don't put all of your eggs in general, right?
Yes.
When you have a team, from a team you start to create channels now, right? We know each time we create a team, it comes with a general channel, right? So sometimes the general channel might suffice if the team in questions don't have a lot of activities going on. There's no much collaborations to be done. I think one can work with just having a general channel. But in the case where there's plenty of activities, there are a lot of teams involved here, then it becomes best practice, I would like to say, to have multiple channels be created. So that way it's easy for people to look up things. It's easy, to collaborate. So that's my number one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It does, and it's funny when we talk about Microsoft Teams with people, we remind them the team is your security boundary, and the channels are like a channel on television. You go to the Discovery Channel to look at stuff about nature. You go to the news channel to see what's happening in the world from a news perspective. You go to Nickelodeon to see what's for the kids to watch something. So those channels are really your conversational boundaries. So great start to the conversation.
Another one, my number 2 would be translation of messages in Teams, right? Gone are the days, where you have to rely on an external translator now. Yes, I know even on the Microsoft system from the Microsoft Store, there is a translator service that one can download. But it's just awesome now that is now being bundled to Teams. So where you can communicate using a language of your choice, so I could decide to speak or, type in my own native language. And on the other end, when you get the language, you can choose to translate the language into a language of choice for yourself. Although I think when you do the translate or the translation of that language, Teams converts whatever language it is into the default Teams language on your system, right? So that I found to really be very interesting. So there's no longer that language barrier between people anymore. So you can get to work with any language of your choice and rely on Teams to make things happen. There's even with Teams, when you have a meeting going on, you can even translate, you can leverage on the translation service to even translate the messages now, the language that people are speaking into messages that you can read on Teams, right?
Right.
So that I also find to be a very handy one.
Yeah, I remember Ignite last year, they actually had the automatic translation service built in, and they had an option for American Sign Language even. So they would not just have the ability to have the language transposed on the bottom, but also to add the extra video so someone could show in ASL what was being said. So really the inclusion, the ways that Microsoft Teams is making it easier for people with different backgrounds from different countries that speak different languages to all come together is a really excellent example of the power of Teams globally.
Yes, very much so. And my number 3 would be the very powerful, I like to call it, command box, right? So command box, so super useful, So yeah, I feel if anyone needs to really master Teams, then there's a need to at least learn some of this commands that can really make things very easier for you. So would find sometimes I just want to be away from my desk, and I need to reflect on my Teams. I'm not available at the moment. BRB, be right back. Those are very easy to do from in fact, just virtually about anything, we can do it from the command box, right? So where we just get to use the slash, and we don't have to memorize a lot of these commands now. Just type in the slash inside the command box, pops down all of the available commands that we can then choose from. So nobody have to, we don't have to memorize any of those commands. So I find that to also be very super useful, the command box.
Yeah, no,
it's Craig. Yeah.
It's great. All the things that it'll let you do. So it's interesting because you call it the command box. And it took me a second to realize what you were talking about, because here in the United States we call it the search box.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking you were talking about like changing your status and the comments that you can put in the status for a second, because you said leave your device, so that kind of thing. And then I realized when you talked about putting the slash there, then you could do the searches and filters and all that kind of good stuff that makes it a lot easier to use and find things in Teams. So cool. Yeah. And so what's number 4 on the list for you?
Okay, number 4 on the list is saving messages and bookmarks. There are times when you have a lot of messages all over the place, or you're a member, you happen to be a team member in multiple channels. So some of those messages you just want to be able to get to really very quickly. So it makes sense then to be able to bookmark those messages. So it's really cool that you can go to a particular message and bookmark, after it has been bookmarked, you can easily just go to your profile now and click on saved, and you're able to get to all of those messages. So if you have a lineup of messages that you need to quickly get to, you need to quickly reference, then it comes in really handy. The fact that you can easily bookmark, save those messages, makes it a very handy one for me.
I don't know
if
you've seen my facial expressions as you've been describing this. I keep forgetting that the bookmarks exist. So I went to my profile and I looked at my saved messages, and I have messages saved from 2017 that I forgot that I saved.
I was going to go with that question. So the same kind of cultural things apply as to, like I tag, obviously me and Jay do this because Jay just said he does it, but tag things that you want to remember but never get back. It's like, oh yeah, this seems like a good idea. Or, so no, that is cool. It is a great feature. At times it's helpful, but a lot of times I even forget that I do that. So then it goes back to the command box or the search box where I'm kind of going, I know I talked to somebody about workflows. Let's see what I did.
Yeah. Right?
Yes. And sometimes too, we can also easily go back there and unbookmark them, that's unsaving them, those messages, so that the place doesn't get clogged up.
I need to go do that.
All right, so we've gotten 4 really good ones. What's your 5th tip for us?
Okay, my number 5 is streaming meetings to other stream services now, like YouTube, Facebook. There's a third one. We can also stream to, I guess, Twitter, right? So I like it that it's now very easy for us to be able to do that from, though not out of the box with Teams. We're going to need to leverage a third-party tool, a tool such as OBS. But it's just a no-brainer. OBS is free. We install OBS, and with just a few clicks, we can stream live from Teams to those other streaming service now. And the fact that we can even have multiple streams happen at the same time is also a very cool one. So I can have a stream going on Facebook and on YouTube all at the same time. So those makes up my top 5 of cool features to use in Teams.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think if you add to your OBS the tool called Restream, it handles setting up all the different streams that you're using and can push out to any number of things. So that's a great one. And hopefully, if everything goes well, so we're recording this on February 26th. Next week is Ignite. In theory, Craig and I will have run a handful of live episodes of This Week in Teams, interviewing some people about what's happening at Ignite. So by the time you're seeing this the week after Ignite, hopefully you'll have been able to see us use that same technology, the ability to stream live on YouTube. We'll cross our fingers that everything works correctly.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be an attempt for us. I've heard great things about that feature. It's not one that I have used yet, but me and Jay are looking forward to trying to do it and see how that goes. So that was really 5 great tips that you had for us. We appreciate that. Is there anything before we start to wrap up this episode? We appreciate you being here, but is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Either what you do or your radio show or anything else that we should know about Teams and Nigeria?
Okay, in Nigeria, I would say that people in Nigeria now are really leveraging Teams. I mean, when we compare it to last 2 years ago, especially during this period of COVID, so Teams has really gotten very popular even here in Nigeria. I mean, before now, it used to be Zoom. And,
right.
Yeah. We know.
But I can tell you for sure that Teams is almost second nature now, to people. I mean, myself and my friend, my very good friend Sam, we also run another show outside of my tech show, my Tech Wednesday show. We call that also Africa Talks that invite different Africans in tech to come showcase what they're doing.
That's
and
awesome.
there is a lady, yes, far off north, she's in the northern part of Nigeria. She's a farmer. And, so when we scheduled out for the meeting, so I was also not, I was just hoping, hope she would be able to get her hands on, Teams, get a very good handle on Teams.
Right.
And it was just a no-brainer, when we yesterday, he said, Teams, I use Teams. So that was really
awesome.
cool.
I was like,
so for a non-techie person, very far north here in Nigeria to already be well acquainted with Teams. So Teams is gaining a lot of ground here in Nigeria now as we speak. And I also think in 2 months, there's a Chris show coming up. So Chris has also invited me to give a talk on also in Nigeria or in Africa as well, if I can remember the topic correctly. So I'm still trying to dig up some really good facts now for that presentation. So.
Well, that's very
so,
cool.
and I want to say a very big thank you, for the opportunity, to come on the show, and it's really a great one that you guys are also doing. Yeah. But it would be nice to have other Africans as well come and feature on your show as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you for connecting us with some people. I'm very excited to bring them on the show over the next few weeks to help further showcase how is Microsoft Teams being used across Africa. It's interesting to hear you talk about, for example, the translation feature, which most of my customers are United States government. So the translation feature isn't really something we talk about very much because they're working with their coworkers, which are other US government officials, which are 9 times out of 10 probably US citizens. So the idea of using translation in Teams isn't something we talk about. And it's nice to hear features like that where it really showcases the power of Teams globally. Thank you.
Yeah.
So especially even people in the Arab countries. Imagine, someone who speaks Arabic. So you can just get to type the Arabic while you easily convert it to English. So that's very cool.
Yeah. No, it is cool. I was using it just the other day. I was talking to one of my coworkers who was in Japan. We had a request for a delivery of a workshop, and I was trying to figure out if they could deliver it. It was in Malaysia, and she was like, well, if it's in Japanese, but or I can use Teams to translate it, but
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Kazeem, thank you so much for joining us. I know you thanked us, but it was entirely our pleasure, if I can speak on behalf of Craig. It was really cool to hear your stories, hear what you're doing in Nigeria, and good luck with the university program with Lasu Sebeti. It's really exciting to hear of technologists who are really focused on giving back to their communities. So thank you for sharing, and have a great day.
Or
thank you very much.
Have a nice night.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks.